My role as county commissioner is one of 3 commissioners that has been elected to serve the people of Schuylkill County. We oversee the services and programs that is basically handed down sometimes from the federal and the state. Things on Office of Senior Services, children and youth. We also watch over the emergency management, the prison system, and also our elderly home, which is Rest Haven. Plus any other problems, and work with different municipalities. Even though we're self-governing bodies, is that we try to work together to make a better community and a better county.
Do you enjoy your position?
Oh yes, I have. Coming from, I was a mayor for 6 years prior to being elected as county commissioner. This is a little bit bigger role where I was overlooking one community, now overseeing 66. And again, not overseeing, I always put it that working together to make a better communities out there. So,
why did you want your position?
I really wanted to, I enjoyed mayor so much as for the last 6 years that I thought that getting involved on the county level, that I could take on things that we work successfully in Schuylkill Haven and to carry it out through all the other boroughs and municipalities throughout the county, and to give it a try to do that, to be, again, my town, not to tout a lot, but Schuylkill Haven has come a long way, and also to work, and hopefully to work with other boroughs, and again as a collective group that we can make a stronger Schuylkill County.
Who do your decisions affect?
My decisions affect naturally the people and the citizens of the Schuylkill County. I've been elected by the citizens, that's who I work for, and naturally that's who I need to answer to. It goes from making a decision whether that might be a senior citizen, a young person, someone that maybe is in through the healthcare things that we oversee on some opportunities. So again, it affects a lot of people within Schuylkill County. Also looking at hopefully creating jobs, which is one big interest out there, is bringing good substantial jobs that people can stay here, raise a family, work, play, and live right here in Schuylkill County.
What is your most recent project?
My recent project, I don't know what you're basically looking for as far as on a community style project. I guess the one, and again, I've only been a commissioner 3 months, so I've been kind of working and getting feel out there as far as working to understand and all the different offices and agency. Going back to my role as mayor for the past 6 years is we've undertaken to build a park, which is in Schuylkill Haven, which is the Island Park project. It was basically decimated with the 2006 flood, and currently it's in its rebuilding mode and has a lot of different venues. So that is one that really sticks out with me right now.
What is your favorite project?
My favorite project, again, being involved in the community, goes back even when I was just in high school. I got involved in the JCs, which is the Junior Chamber of Commerce, which is an organization for young people 18 to 40 years of age. Again, it's a leadership training through community service. The one project that I really enjoyed was the Children's Community Shopping Tour. I had the opportunity to go down to Philadelphia because I was a state officer. In there was a young man, couldn't have been no older than 10 years old. Again, the JCs gave him $50, and back then you're looking in the 80s, which was quite a substantial bit of money. Again, this young man was a little nervous and everything else, and I asked him, I said, why are you seem like you're nervous? This should be a good time. And actually he says, well, I'm afraid of my mother. I said, well, you're afraid of your mother? He says, no, I'm afraid that my mother not be there when I get home, because they lived in a bad part of the neighborhood. And then when we went shopping, actually he didn't buy gifts for himself. He bought gifts for his family, his brothers and sisters, and that gave me the true meaning, not just of Christmas, but of this 10-year-old that not only was concerned about getting things for himself, he was concerned about his family. And that's one way that set me on the pace to become involved and civic-minded within community projects.
If you could change one thing, what would it be? One
thing that I guess on the county level, naturally, and just campaigning over this past this year is, again, we have a good sense of pride, very good sense of pride. But I look at a lot of the towns, and again, every town has it, and again, it's the blighted issues. We have a lot of communities and a lot of towns that are, a lot of homes, businesses are run down. Again, it starts and say, well, how do we tackle this? It starts with just trying with one thing. Maybe just picking up some trash or litter here to clean the streets, and to get a reinvestment, put people to that we can set up opportunities to reinvest back into our communities, and do it one block at a time. Sometimes it looks like a big chore, but if we don't start, I think that's where people come into Schuylkill County, they take a picture of it and they look at a lot of these properties, and I think if we do that opportunity, it opens up the scope of more people moving in, more better jobs, and so forth.
Do you work with students, and in what ways?
Yes, I do. Naturally, just as mayor, I had a mayor's advisory committee which was set up. We met quarterly. It was a mayor's meeting, basically, a town meeting. I had 2 students sit on there, one a junior and one a senior. Naturally, the junior stayed for 2 years and worked up through, and then stepped into the senior involvement. Their involvement is to bring back things for what the youth were looking for in the school district and within the area, in the Schuylkill Haven area. It was very good. A lot of great ideas came out of that. A lot of projects were started in Schuylkill Haven from that. Also whelmed out of that, we got to talk with the president of council, and he started the junior council person, which we have an active junior council person on the council. I believe, and I know a lot of other people that sense this, is the youth of our community is our greatest asset, and this is where we need to focus on, of our future, because you're the future leadership. And if we continue to lose our young people and good assets, where our future looks bleak. So again, we need to strengthen that as far as building up our youth and concerned, and have a place that you can stay here and live and be very happy.
Why do you stay involved?
I stay involved because, again, I enjoy helping. From a young age, my mother and father taught me that you need to give back. I'm a businessman. I've been in business for 33 years. This area has been very good to me, gave me a very successful operation in the catering business, and I look to always put back of what you take out, even though it might not look like a lot, is that you have to be a part of the solution, rather than just sitting there and saying, well, here's all that's wrong, and this is what should be changed. You should be part of the solution and get in there and to work with it.
How do you listen to others' concerns?
I listen to other concerns naturally by asking questions, sitting in different forums that I can get different ideas. Both times when I ran for office, both as mayor and both as commissioner, I put out a survey. I surveyed the people. I wanted to run on platforms of the people's platform, basically of getting their ideas. And a lot of times, going back to mayor, again only being a commissioner three months, we picked up a lot of neat ideas of what the people were looking for. Our seniors were looking something, saying you do a lot for the youth, but you don't do a lot for the senior population. We developed a senior appreciation day. We looked at developing more recreation also for our youth, and other opportunities as far as the parks and so forth. Same on the commissioner level, surveying, and people, again, jobs are the #1 issue, the blighted properties, again, and our youth, of keeping our youth and working with our youth here to make that this county is a good, viable source that you can stay here and, again, go and have a great profession, a life, and hopefully raise your kids here.
Who do you have to answer to?
That I answered pretty well a little bit earlier. I have to answer to the people. Again, I'm elected along with 2 other commissioners, and again, you, our citizens, are our bosses. We need to know that from day one, and if there is problems, we have an open door policy that you can call either one of us up there that you have a concern or whatever, whether that's being good or bad. That's our position, and that's what we were elected for, and to do that job to serve you in the best capacity that's out there.
How do you reach compromises on issues?
Reach compromise is basically sitting down the table and working across with each other, whether that if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent or whatever it might be. Again, once you're elected by the people, and now you're a public servant working for the best interests of the county. And the thing is you're going to have some disagreements, naturally. Sometimes you're not going to agree on a certain issue. But you got to come to a compromise of whatever's the best interest of that's out there for the people and the county itself. And once that's available and it's there, success comes with it. Again, is not to always take the pride or saying I did this or that. It's always should be we did this together, and more is done. And if you look at it togetherness and working together, a lot more can be accomplished.
Does your political party affect the things you do?
To some points. There's some things that naturally you belong to a political party. There's some basic philosophies that you keep close to you, near to your heart. But there's some things that you can waver on, again, to working for the best interests of what the total population is. And again, you have to work for the majority, not just the silent minority. So again, to working that.
Would you be open to discussing issues with youth?
Absolutely. That is something that, again, we found when I campaigned as county commissioner, and definitely want to incubate this. I think this is a great start to do this, and again, to spread out to not only here in North Schuylkill, but also to all the other school districts within the county. Again, I just want to reiterate, you've done some fantastic things. Our youth is amazing, not just in sports, in the arts, in education. We put out a lot of good people out of this county. Again, we don't want to see them leave our area. We want, hopefully, that you go out to college, you get even better education to whatever your profession may need, and come back and to build this county stronger than ever. If you look across the table on leadership in both in boroughs and townships, countywide and the statewide, a lot of them, I'm not saying that I'm old, but again, we need more youth to be involved, a voice of youth on councils and townships and school boards to get involved in those types of things.